The following is a presentation of Retro Sports Network, home of the champions of the past, present, and future. This morning, 75 years ago, Allied forces began the tough invasion of occupied Europe. And so to commemorate the occasion, a few words. Soldiers, sailors, and airmen of the Allied Expeditionary Force, you are about to embark upon the great crusade toward which we have striven these many months. The eyes of the world are upon you. The hopes and prayers of liberty-loving people everywhere march with you. In company with their brave allies and brothers in arms on the other fronts, you will bring about the destruction of the German war machine, the elimination of Nazi tyranny over oppressed peoples of Europe, and security for ourselves in a free world. Your task will not be an easy one. Your enemy is well trained, well equipped, and battle hardened. He will fight savagely. But this is the year 1944. Much has happened since the Nazi triumphs of 1940-41. The United Nations have inflicted upon the Germans great defeats in open battle, man to man. Our air offensive has seriously reduced their strength in the air and their capacity to wage war on the ground. Our home fronts have given us an overwhelming superiority in weapons and munitions of war, and placed at our disposal great reserves of trained fighting men. The tide is turned. The free men of the world are marching together to victory. I have full confidence in your courage, devotion to duty, and skill in battle. We will accept nothing less than full victory. Good luck, and let us all beseech the blessings of Almighty God upon this great and noble undertaking. The words of General Dwight David Eisenhower 75 years ago this morning. And to bring it back to a baseball term, one of the people that were rushing the beaches was one Lawrence Berra, or Yogi, who I forget, someone will tell me, I believe was either Omaha or Utah Beach, but that was 75 years ago this morning, and lest we forget. All right, so that's the history lesson for the day. My name is Ron Juckett, and I think we got ourselves a decent ball game to go back through as we say hello in the chat to nobody. The Cardinals come into this pretty much done for the year. They're 63-62. They got their work cut out for them. There will not be a World Series parade in St. Louis. The Dodgers' magic number to win the National League West is 21. They are 84-43 and hold a major lead in the National League West. We'll get to the standings in a second, but that's the game that we have for you today. It's Steve Mura for the Cardinals and Fernando Valenzuela for the Dodgers. So the Cardinals are up against a double whammy. Mura and thank you for the kind words for the history lesson. And yeah, Yogi Berra was actually one of the ones there. The other thing I'll say before we get started is that it was the first time in Major League Baseball history, outside of a work stoppage, that no games were played on this day in 1944. The next time that was to happen would be September 11th, 2001. So a rare day indeed, and a day certainly of reflection. There's just not many of those folks left. All right, back to the baseball. The standings in the National League: Montreal a 7-game lead over Philadelphia. They've won one. Philadelphia's won 3 straight. Pittsburgh is kind of pushed into third comfortably, 13.5 back. They've won 4 straight. St. Louis lost last night to the Dodgers to fall to 63-62. Their elimination number is 21. The Mets, by the way, have officially been eliminated at 40-84. The Dodgers hold a 16-game lead over Atlanta, a run differential of 110. They're 43-25 on the road. They've won 7 of 10 in 2 straight, and of course they're going with Fernando Valenzuela. So that's the situation coming into the game. What we thought was going to be a preview of the National League Championship Series isn't. So Steve Mura, one of the reasons why the Cardinals have struggled, 6-10 on the year, a 5.93 ERA. His last start was August 20th against the Giants, and he took a no decision over 8 innings. 6 hits, 2 runs, both earned. He walked 1 and struck out 4. And so on this long year for Mura, 151 2/3 innings, 184 hits, 20 homers, 107 runs, which is why you have an ERA that is 5.93. 100 of them earned. He's walked 71 and struck out 67. And like I said, thanks for the kind words on the opening. That's right, the Tribe are pretty much done. So here's the lineup that he'll be facing against the Los Angeles Dodgers. Steve Sax will lead off, hitting .232, 4 homers and 39 RBI. Kenny Landreau will bat second and play center field. Dusty Baker, the left fielder, will bat third. Pedro Guerrero, the right fielder, cleans up for the Dodgers. Ron Cey, the Penguin, will bat fifth at third. Steve Garvey will hit sixth. Just shows you how deep that lineup is. And he'll play first. Steve Yeager behind the plate going seventh. Billy Russell, the shortstop, bats eighth. And Fernando Valenzuela is on the hill for the Dodgers. It's August 25th, and they can now, with a win, bring their magic number down to 20. Lonnie Smith is in left for the Cardinals. He's a 4 and a 6. David Green is a 3 and a 5 in center. No Willie McGee. George Hendrick, a 5 and a 6 in right. Ken Oberkfell, a 6 at third. Ozzie Smith, a 10 at short. Tom Herr, a 6 at second. Keith Hernandez, a perfect 10 at first. And Gene Tennis, the catcher tonight, 3 and a 5 behind the plate. We play for the bunt. Sax can do that. And we are underway. Fly ball to right center. Green moves over, and that's how this one starts. 1 away. Brings up Kenny Landreau at .259, 5 homers and 37 RBI. The Dodgers in game 128 can win their 85th. The Cardinals would like to win their 64th. Murray deals. Landreau right back to the pitcher, over to Hernandez, 2 out. Yeah, we probably won't be done by 1. A lot of meetings today. Baseball Demos did a wonderful job in his Bob Stanley opening day replay. They won, which is all I really care about. He had to use his bullpen. Dusty Baker at .278, 14 homers and 71 RBI. Murray deals, 2 out, and there's a line drive to the Wizard. He'll make the catch to retire the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. Nothing for the Dodgers. Here come the Cardinals. Does Hendrick have a loaf rating? Probably. You know who doesn't have one is Fernando Valenzuela. He is 18 and 8. He's looking for win number 19 with a 2.77 ERA. Making his 29th start of the year. The defending Cy Young and Rookie of the Year made his last start on August 20th against the Pirates, where he got a win. 6 2/3 innings, 9 hits, 3 runs all earned. Walked 1 and struck out only 4. So on the season, 221 innings flat, 192 hits, 78 runs, only 68 earned. He's walked 60 and struck out 175. His last loss came on the 5th against Atlanta. And then he's won, I'm sorry, I take that back. His last loss came against Cincinnati on the 10th. He's won his last 2 decisions. The lineup he will face: Tommy Herr will lead off. Lonnie Smith will bat second. Keith Hernandez third. George Hendrick cleans up in right. How you doing, Mark and Bobby Catalano? Good to have you along. Gene Tennis will bat fifth. Green, the center fielder, sixth. Oberkfell, the alone... Oh, no, I take that back. will hit 7th and bat or play 3rd. Ozzie Smith bats 8th, and Murrah, who threw 15 pitches in the 1st, will go 9th. Todd B., good to have you along. So her at 247 and 41 RBI. Fernando deals. The Dodgers play for the bunt. Her slaps that one into right. Guerrero throw it back in, and that's how this one starts for the Cardinals. Brings up Lonnie Smith, who's having a magnificent year. 328, 4 homers, and 53 RBI. Fernando deals, and there's a little looper in the left. That's going to drop. Baker picks it up off a hop. And with nobody out, Her will hold at second. So runners on first and second for Keith Hernandez. 305, 9 homers, and 76 RBI. 2 on, nobody out, bottom of the 1st. Dodgers and Cardinals, no score. Here's the pitch. Fly ball opposite field. In comes Baker in left and make the catch for the 1st out. Her bluffs and will hold. And this is the big power bat for the Cardinals. George Hendrick, 284, 19 homers. That matches his real-life total. And 81 RBI. Well, you know, sparse crowd. It's a morning shot. Someone actually had to go in and get that. There's no batting cages on the field. Judging from the logos on the wall, it's after 86, because that pirate logo, I don't have my mouse where you can see it, is not the classic pirate, but the kind of the cartoonish one. Pitch to Hendrick. Line drive to 3rd. Say is there, 2 out. So Valenzuela 1 out away, getting out of this. Brings up tennis. Gene at 230. 3 homers and 14 RBI. It's lefties at a 215 clip. Fernando deals. Ball 4. Didn't say anything about not walking, just not hitting. Brings up David Green at 278. A homer and 8 RBI. Bases loaded. 2 out. Here's the pitch. Got him! A 1-2 fastball swung on. Nope. Strike 3 call. Check swing, and that's the side. No runs, 2 hits, no errors. The Cardinals leave him loaded. After 1, Los Angeles nothing, St. Louis nothing. So that was big for Fernando. Got into trouble and got himself out. Brings up Pedro Guerrero with saying Garvey to follow. Pedro at 313, 30 homers and 90 RBI. And if you're not a fan of Mike Schmidt's MVP effort, then the sensible thing to do, of course, would be vote for Pedro. Murrah deals, and that's a high fly ball to left. Back goes Lonnie Smith, and that ball is gone. Well into the seats in left center field, and it's 1-0 Los Angeles. That's his 31st of the year. And the Dodgers break out 1-0. Murrah just kind of hung that one like a Bob Stanley sinker, and that pitch was just hammered. So 1-0 Dodgers. And now bring up Ron Say at 233, 19 homers and 71 RBI. Tennis did always draw a lot of walks. And was a good veteran presence in the Cardinal clubhouse. By the way, speaking of hot, on the turf, 89 degrees, with winds blowing in from right at 3. So here's Say. Here's the pitch. A little liner up the middle. Green is there. 2 out for 1 out. For Garvey. Steve is at 266. Matched his 16 regular season home run total and his 56 RBI. Murrah deals, and there's a chopper to Overfell at 3rd, over to Hernandez, and that will retire. No, it's 2 out, Ron. You can count to 3. 1, 2. Here's Steve Yeager, 287, 2 homers, and 20 RBI. Mura deals, and there's a ground ball to Ozzie over to Hernandez, and that will retire the side. Dodgers pick up a solo home run from Pedro Guerrero after an inning and a half. It's the Dodgers 1, the Cardinals nothing. Yes. Serve and volley player Gene Tennis was, for sure. A trivia teammate called Tennis Gene the Walking Machine. Well, Dave's always in fuego with the puns, for sure. It'll be Oberkfell, Ozzie Smith, and Mura for the Cardinals here in the second. Oberkfell at 312, a homer, and 46 RBI. This team is about speed, not power. Valenzuela deals. Ground ball. Sachs comes way in. Throw to Garvey, a bang-banger, and Oberkfell is out. So Sachs, I would be, if this was a grass field where the grass would be in the infield. But not, it's just plastic. Life's fantastic. Ozzie Smith at 257, no homers and 49 RBI. Pitch from Valenzuela, and that's going to get into center field. Ozzie's going for two. He is in there, and he's hurt. He slid in there, and he caught his ankle against the bag. And so he's grabbing it, not what the Cardinals needed. And he is hurt. And I don't know if they have another shortstop. Mike Ramsey will pinch run for him. That's nuts. So here's Steve Mura at 091, a bunt situation, of course, and 5 RBI. But Mike Ramsey's on second. Dodgers playing for the bunt. Say and Garvey are in. Fernando deals, and Mura gets that one down. Garvey runs over, throws to third, and they got Ramsey. So the Cardinals put in a fast pinch runner, but the ball was just kind of, Garvey knew what he was doing, picked it up off that hot turf, and got the runner at third. So it goes down as a sacrifice in a fielder's choice, or a field sacrifice in a fielder's choice. 3-5. And now bring up Tommy Herr with 2 outs. So Fernando, 31 pitches through an inning and 2/3. 3 hits, a walk, and a strikeout. Herr singled his first time up. Fernando deals. Struck him out. A Scroogey on the inside corner, and Herr watched it. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. After 2, it's Los Angeles 1, the Cardinals nothing. And now who plays for Ozzie? Mike Ramsey. Well, kind of like, the coach of the Green Bay Packers after Vince Lombardi left, and, any other, like Jay Leno after Johnny Carson. Mike Ramsey gets to fill in for Ozzie Smith. He's a 7. I mean, he'll acquit himself just fine, but just look out there in the 80s and not see Ozzie at shortstop is bizarre. Bill Russell, Fernando Valenzuela, and Steve Sachs to face Mura here in the third. Russell at 263, 2 homers and 40 RBI. Here's the pitch. Ball 4. So Russell walks, and Fernando will bunt. So Hernandez and Oberkfell play in. Pitch to Fernando. That's a bunt. Tennis over to Herr, covering first, and that's an out. So 2-4 on the bunt, and Russell moves to second with 1 out for Sachs, who's 0 for 1. Mura threw 2 1/3 innings, 9 batters, 41 pitches. The lone hit being the solo shot from Guerrero in the second. He has a walk. That was Russell. Pitch to Sachs is 0 for 1. Ground ball to Ramsey. Quick throw to Hernandez, and Sachs is barely out. He had a good set of wheels, but Ramsey put a lot of mustard on that throw, and there's 2 out. Russell moves to third. Landreau is 0 for 1. Yeah, no, you got Hurt doing the... Nope. Dodgers pulled the rug out from Ozzie and didn't have a leg to stand on. Ozzie hurt himself on that slide on the double. Must have rolled his ankle. That dirt was rock hard anyway, and that's what happened. Ramsey later played for the Dodgers in '87. Okay. August 25th, 1982. Wednesday night. Pitch to Landreau is a base hit right side, so Russell will score. And the Dodgers are doing tonight what they've done all year. Pound, pound, pound. Here's Dusty Baker, who's 0 for 1. Pitch from Europe. Fly ball to right. Hendrick in the corner by the pen. Makes the catch to retire the side. A run on 1 hit and nowheres. 2.5 down. Dodgers 2. Cardinals nothing. So Lonnie Smith, Keith Hernandez, and George Hendrick to face Fernando here in the third. Lonnie singled his first time up, 1 for 1. No, he's not going to bunt. Dodgers are going to play for it. We're not giving it to him. Ball 4. Not what Fernando wants either, but Lonnie does not have great speed, at least at the moment. So here's Hernandez. He's 0 for 1. Pitch from Valenzuela. Up the middle. Fernando fields it over to Garvey. They get the 1 at first, and Smith moves to second. 1 out for Hendrick. 2-0 Dodgers, bottom of the third. Hendrick is 0 for 1. Hendrick actually did run that one down for sure. He was a loafer. He's also sitting on a 7-game hitting streak, and the rare picture of Hendrick with a logo on his hat. Remember, when he wore the batting helmet, he usually peeled off the logo later in his career. Fernando's pitch, and there's a chopper foul third base side. Say picks it up, but it won't matter. And the count is 0-2. Here's the pitch. Fly ball to left. Baker has that measured. Smith will hold at second with 2 out. Just not a great chance, and that'll bring up Tennis, who walked his first time up. So runner on second, 2 out. Fernando not pitching super baseball, but on the right end of a 2-0 score. Here's the pitch. Fly ball to right center. Back goes Landreau, and that will retire the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. After 3, Dodgers 2, St. Louis nothing. I got part of my lunch is like stuck in my teeth. I hate that. Pedro Guerrero, because sharing is caring, by the way. Solo shot in the left center in the second. That was the first Dodger run. 2-0 Los Angeles as we start the fourth. Pitch from Mura. Guerrero popped it up behind the plate. Tennis takes off the mask, and there's one away. So I suppose if you're in Los Angeles watching this one at 9:29 a.m., now's the perfect time to run over to Ralph's or Vaughn's and in your freezer section get a Jimmy Dean scramble. Made with some quality Farmer John... No, they're not. Quality Farmer John meats. A scramble because it's too early for a Dodger dog. Say is 0 for 1. Mura pitched all right. Just the one mistake. Say laces that one into left center field. Smith will pick it up on a hop, and the Penguins got a single. Third hit for the Dodgers. The Cardinals have 3 hits. Here's Garvey. He's 0 for 1. Mura deals, and Steve bats that one foul down the first base side and into the dugout. Count as a ball and 2 strikes. Mura only struck out 84 in 184 innings anyway. Here's the pitch. And that's going to get past Hernandez all the way to Hendrick. Hendrick should have had that one, speaking of loaf. And Shea stops on to second. So a late start for Hendrick on that blooper. And the Dodgers have runners on first and second and 1 out for Yeager, who's 0 for 1. So, yep. Of course it matters what Ron has to say. Oh, unless you're my wife. Ba-doom boom. I take your bad pun and raise you a Henny Youngman joke. Yeager, as I said, is 0 for 1. Runners on first and second, 1 out for Mura. Pitch, fly ball to center. Green is there, makes the catch. Say will bluff, and is going to go. Green's throw to third is a sharp one, and he's safe. but not in time. Garvey moves up to second. So say what you want, but that was some heads-up base running. And so now 2 in scoring position for Russell, who walked and scored in the third. That doesn't make any sense. Yeah, he walked and scored in the third. Pitch from Mura. Right up the middle. Ramsey over to Hernandez at first, and that will retire the side. So no runs, 2 hits. The Dodgers strand 2 after 3.5. Los Angeles 2, the Cardinals nothing. So Green, Obergfell, and Ramsey. That sounds like some nasty stuff you'd find at Schnucks. Green struck out his first time up. Fernando has 2 on the day. Here's the pitch. Got him. He caught the inside edge with a screwgee, and that's the third strikeout for Fernando. Brings up Obergfell. He's 0 for 1. Todd B's not bitter or anything. If Hendrick had a candy bar like Reggie, it would be Serbia Slowpoke. I guess it would be a lollipop. You would just call it an all-day sucker, right? Pitch to Obergfell is a liner to Russell for the out, so 2 quick ones for Ramsey. Mike at 236 on the year with 27 RBI. Here's the pitch. Ramsey ground ball to Say over to Garvey, and that will retire the side. 1, 2, 3 go the Cards after 4. Los Angeles 2, St. Louis nothing. I get this feeling that George Hendrick peed in Todd B's Wheaties at one point. Just putting it out there. Fernando at 136 and 5 RBI. A sacrifice bunt his first time up. Going to swing away with nobody on here to start the top of the 5th. Mura deals, and Fernando pops it up right side. It'll make the catch, and there's 1 away. Steve Sachs is 0 for 2. Mura has actually pitched a decent ball game. Jinx incoming. 18 batters, 80 pitches, 4 1/3 innings, 4 hits, the home run to Guerrero, a walk and no strikeouts. So here's Sachs. He's 0 for 2. Well, I was fleet of foot at one point too. But yeah, Hendrick came up with, played for Oakland and Cleveland. In California, I think too, as Sachs grounds that one up the middle for a base hit. 5th hit for the Dodgers. Landro is 1 for 2. Single and drove in Russell in the 3rd. Throw to first. Sachs is back. Goes home, pitch out, throw down to Ramsey, goes into center field, and Sachs turned the fear of God into an error and a third base. So they were looking for the steal, they got the steal, and Tennis threw it away. Did his best John McEnroe impression, and so Sachs stands on third and with 1 out. 2-0 ball game and a 1-0 count to Landro. Mura delivers, fly ball to center. Green is there, makes the catch. Sachs with speed to spare, tags and scores, and so it's a sac fly. 3-0 Dodgers, 2 out. For Dusty Baker, who's 0 for 2. Brian Pelletier, how are you? Thanks for joining us. Glad to have you along on this Thursday afternoon. Weekend game is going to be California at Boston. So it was Uncle Al who's saying maybe we'll see Bob Stanley again. Well, you won't see him as a starter, but you might unfortunately see him as a reliever. And that will either be Friday night or Saturday night. One of those two. Dusty Baker's 0 for 2. And Baker draws a walk. Sunday afternoon, by the way, the resumption of that 70s tournament. The National League Final, the 73 Mets and the 79 Pittsburgh Pirates, 4 Eastern, from Three River Stadium right here on Retro Sports Network. Baker has 16 steals on the year, but he's not really a threat. Guerrero is up. Pedro 1 for 2. Solo shot in the 2nd. Pitch from Mura. Ground ball to He's got to hurry. He throws it over to Hernandez, and that will retire the side. No run, or 1 run, 1 hit, 1 error. Halfway home, Dodgers 3, Cardinals nothing. So here's the in-game box score. So we are, yeah, Mura on the wall. Who's the worst pitcher of them all? And then, I don't know who would be in this one. We haven't tried to do a lot of bad pitching games. So you can see Landro with 2 RBI, and of course Guerrero with the solo shot. Cardinals are hitting all right. They're hitting 277 as a team. Pitching for Fernando Amira. I mean, no one's writing to Baseball Digest about this game, but Fernando doing his best. If he wins, it's number 19 for him. I got George on, Mr. Mike has him on his 83 Retro team, playing really well. Doesn't he run? No, that's Rick. And if you loaf around there, you get lapped. That or, you know, you got a bunch of dogs around you. Here's Mura, he's 0 for 1. Fernando delivers. Ground ball to Russell. On his knees, a bang-bang throw to Garvey, and they got him. So Russell makes a good play to rob a hit from Mura. And that brings up Tommy Herr, 1 for 2 with a strikeout. Through 18 batters, Fernando at 65 pitches, 4 1/3 innings. 3 hits. He's walked 2 and struck out 3. Tommy Herr is singled and struck out. He's 1 for 2. He's going to lay one down here, and it rolls foul. So 0-2. Yeager let it roll foul, and Fernando kind of has a wry smile on his face. Pitch to Herr. Fly ball to right. Guerrero makes the catch. 2 out for Lonnie Smith, who is 1 for 1. He is singled and walked. 3 runs, 5 hits, no errors for the Dodgers. They've left 4 on. Cardinals, no runs, 3 hits, an error, and they've left 5 on. Pitch to Smith. Ground ball to Say. Long throw over to Garvey, and that will retire the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. 1, 2, 3, go the Cards. Los Angeles 3, St. Louis nothing. You know, for the longest time, you would think that Steve would be a Hall of Famer. Mura, by the way, giving me a fatigue warning as we start the 6th. Say, Garvey, and Yeager due up for the Dodgers. But he just kind of fell off a cliff at the end of his career. Had that big homer, of course, in the 84 NLCS. Say's 1 for 2, and that's a line shot that's going to go all the way to the wall in left center. David Green got a bad jump on it, and Say's got himself a double. Brings up Garvey. Well, since you asked, can I do real? No, just the 4 years I have open. In 82, he had 6. I don't know what his real life numbers were. Hit-wise, he was there. Depends if you're a big haul guy or a small haul guy. Anyways, 1 for 2 tonight. Mura deals, and there's a ground ball foul, third base side. 2-2 the count. Nobody out. Top of the 6th. 3-0 Dodgers. Here's the pitch. Garvey into right field. That'll drop in front of Hendrick. Tommy Herr should have had that, and Say thought he was going to get it and got a late jump and only goes to third. So runners in the corners for Yeager, who's 0 for 2. I don't know what Garvey's final numbers were. He played a long time. I think Baines actually, as much as I rib him, has a better case than Garvey. That's not saying much. Ground ball to third. Oberkfell. Gonna go around the horn. Herr for 1 over to Hernandez. Yeager is my speed, and the Cardinals will turn it. The run scores, but it's 4-0 Los Angeles. So Say, Dodgers will gladly take 2 outs for the price of a run, and I'll bring up Bill Russell, who has walked and scored. He's 0 for 1. Mura deals. Russell, chopper to Oberkfell, over to Hernandez, and that will retire the side. Dodgers tack on another run on 2 hits and no errors after 5.5. Los Angeles 4, St. Louis nothing. So Fernando, looking to keep the shutout going, will face Hernandez, Hendrick, and Tennis here in the 6th. Keith is 0 for 2. Pitch from Valenzuela. Ground ball to Sachs. Over to Garvey. 1 away. George Hendrick is 0 for 2. I forgot how many hits. I mean, does Garvey have over 2,500 hits? 294 lifetime average, 2,600 hits, 272 homers, and 1,308 RBI. Yeah, I suppose you can make an argument there. He wouldn't be the worst one in the Hall. 294 is nothing to sneeze at. Pitch to Hendrick is a fly ball to right. Guerrero in the corner makes the catch for the out, 2 away. For Gene Tennis, who was 0 for 1 with a walk. 2,600 is a decent number. Ball 4. So Gene the walking machine gets a 2-out walk. In fact, he took 4 straight balls from Fernando. David Green is 0 for 2. Has struck out twice. 2 out, bottom of the 6th. 4-0 Dodgers. Pitch to Green. Chopper to Russell, and Russell played him. So it hits off the heel of his glove, and everybody's safe. So Tennis moves to second, which I guess would be the French Open, and Green is on first. For Oberkfell, who's 0 for 2. So Fernando, remember, gotta have a bases-loaded jam in the first, has 2 on and 2 out here in the 6th. He deals up the middle, Fernando to Garvey, and that will retire the side. So the Cardinals strand 2 more. No runs, no hits. The air does not hurt. After 6, Los Angeles 4, St. Louis nothing. 10 All-Star appearances for Garvey. 1 MVP. Was that 77? Or was that Foster? Anyway, Fernando's 0 for 1. As we start the 7th, Mura, 108 pitches. He probably could go the inning. Here's the pitch. Fernando, line drive to Hernandez, 1 away. Sacks up, 1 for 3. Stolen base is 42nd, and a run scored. He got 3rd on the stolen base error. Mura, through 27 batters, yeoman's work, really. 6 1/3 innings, 7 hits, 112 pitches. The homer to Guerrero, and 2 walks. How you doing, Appa Chatter? Good to have you along. Mura's pitch. Sachs strikes out. First strikeout for Mura, a 2-2 fastball. High and away. Brings up Landreau. 1 for 2. 2 RBI, now has 39 on the year. 74 MVP. Okay. That was just a few weeks before my time. And he and John Matlack were the MVPs of the 74 All-Star game. I do know that. Landreau slaps out one to Ramsey at short, over to Hernandez. And that will retire the side. Stretch time here in St. Louis. No runs, no hits, no errors. 6.5 down. Los Angeles 4. St. Louis nothing. And now it's time for me to remind you that I'll get to your pun in a second. About Patreon. You can throw me a buck or two. You can buy a game for $10. Any action PC teams ever. I'll play them for you for $10. But thanks again to everyone who has contributed. It means a great deal to me. And don't feel obligated like you got to do it. But if you enjoyed that Stanley Steamer special, in which Uncle Ron got steamed for 40 minutes, then consider a gift to Patreon. Patreon.com/Retro Sports Network. And I'm not kidding. I mean, if I'm going to play Bob Stanley's 87 opening day start, then by God, I'm just a gigolo, and everywhere I go, I'll play whatever you want. So, but seriously, thank you all so much. Any support, even just the comments and the likes, are greatly appreciated. And as Twiggy never said to her bra, thanks for your support. So Mike Ramsey at 2:30. Oh, he's 0 for 1. So Fernando starts the 7th on 89 pitches. We need a game with David Green, Frank White, Vida Blue, Bud Black, and Ollie Brown and Sonny Gray in it. And then Mark Claire. No, we're not. Boo. It is Pride Month, that's for sure. Yeah, this is a red light district. So Ramsey's ready, and so is Fernando, and that's ball 4. So the Cardinals get the leadoff runner on here in the 7th for the pinch hitter. It's going to be, I don't know why they didn't go with Willie McGee. He's going to pinch hit now at 303, 3 homers, and 41 RBI. And we'll probably see a double switch here. Ramsey not a threat to steal. Fernando. From this, well, Yeager and Fernando are going to talk taco places. McGee chops one to Russell. Fantastic play. Sacks for 1 over to first. Does McGee beat it out? No, yes, he does. He beats it out, so they get the force. 6-4, and McGee, who is fleet of foot, reaches on the fielder's choice. But Russell dove, saved a hit, and there's now 1 on and 1 out. For Tommy Herr, it was 1 for 3, singled and struck out. Fernando in 101 pitches through 7 batters, 6 1/3 innings. 3 hits, he's walked 4 and struck out 3. McGee will go. Hit and run is on. Herr to Russell, and Russell misplays it. Again, that just steamrolled off the turf and right past Russell's glove. And so the Cardinals have runners on first and second for Lonnie Smith, who was 1 for 2 with a walk. A blue dot special. There you go. So the pitch to Lonnie Smith, fly ball to center. Landro has it for the out. McGee bluffs, but with 2 out, you don't want to run yourself out of the inning. So McGee and Herr, who have a great set of wheels, are on for Hernandez, who's 0 for 3. So Fernando trying to pitch out of another jam here in the 7th. Here we go. And that's a chopper right back to the pitcher, over to Garvey, and that will retire the side. No runs, no hits, 1 error. Does not hurt. After 7, the Dodgers 4, St. Louis nothing. The Cardinals have left 9 runners on. And so now the pitch is going to be Jim Cott. Cott is going to go in and bat 6th. And Willie McGee will stay in the game. He's a 9 and a 7. And play center. So a 1 inning appearance here for Kitty. Dusty Baker's 0 for 2 with a walk. Cott 5 and 4 on the year. 47th appearance for him. 4.80 ERA. He last pitched Monday night against the East Dodgers. 2/3 of an inning, a hit, 60, and that was it. 60 innings overall, 66 hits, 5 homers, 32 runs all earned, walked 15 and struck out 28. He beat the Giants on Sunday, going in an inning and a third for his 5th win. So Cott, Baker, Guerrero, and Say. Here's the pitch from the lefty, fly ball to left, and that's gone. Well, that worked out well for the Cardinals. Baker sends that one over the wall in left center. That's his 15th of the year. And I can hear ID Jester calling me all sorts of names without even having to look. So it's 5-0 Los Angeles here in the 8th. And that brings up Pedro Guerrero, 1 for 3. Solo shot in the 2nd. The Dodgers have singletons in the 2nd, 3rd, 5th, 6th, and now 8th. 5-0. Pop up right side. Herr is there for the out, 1 away. For Ron Say, 2 for 3. He has singled, doubled, and scored. And this time he flies one into left in the foul territory. Ramsey reaches in the stands and makes the catch. If that isn't a home field advantage, I don't know what is. And there's 2 out for Garvey, who is 2 for 3. He singled twice. Yeah, I think I would agree with that. Cott should be a Hall of Famer. My God, how many Gold Gloves? So should Tommy John. Okay, Todd, what is the deal with you and George Hendrick? I haven't seen this much passive aggressive since I went downtown and talked to people on the bench. Pitch to Garvey, struck him out, so Cott got out of it on a 2-2 fastball. Looking 1 run, the solo shot by Baker, 1 hit, no error. 7.5, it's 5-0 Los Angeles. He won the gold glove from 62 to 77. That's a pretty good run. Speaking of ones that can't run, here's George Hendrick. He's 0 for 3. We're waiting for story time here, Mr. B. Fernando Deal struck him out. 2-2. Got the curve, wanted a fastball, and it was way out in front of that one, and Fernando's got himself 4 on the afternoon. Gene Tennis has walked twice and is 0 for 1. So Fernando nursing a 3-hitter here in the bottom of the 8th. Here's the pitch. Tennis, ground ball to Russell, over to Garvey. George is going to come in the stands after me, right after Alan Trammell beats me up. And Alpha Chatter is correct in saying home field advantage is not that real in pro sports. Less than 10%? Yeah, it's about 3%. Actually, I think of baseball. Now, backyard wiffle ball. Oh, I'm going to bet Cott not like there's nobody on and you don't want to waste another arm in the pen. Not like they're hitting anyway. Watch him get a hit. He's 0 for 8 on the year and strikes out. He got fooled out of the outside corner. No runs, no hits, no errors. After 8, it's the Dodgers 5, the Cardinals nothing. How you doing, Blazin'? How's your throat doing, buddy? So it's Yeager, Russell, and Ballens. Well, we'll see what Tommy does with Fernando. Well, if it's Tommy, even if the game was tied, Fernando would still be out there. But we'll see if the computer lets him try for the shutout. Yeager's 0 for 3, grounded into a double play. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing. If there was a runner on base, I would have pinch hit. But now, there really isn't a heck of a lot of point. Rest the pen. Pitch to Yeager. Fly ball to left. Lonnie in the corner. He's going to turn and watch it go. So Yeager homers. Before demos can say it, I guess that's a Yeager bomb, isn't it? That was his 3rd of the year. A 332-footer right down the line over that Cubs logo. And it's 6-0 Los Angeles. Brings up Bill Russell, who's 0 for 2. He's walked and scored. Oh. Yes, it probably would refuse to bobble. I got a Vince Coleman bobblehead up here somewhere with the Cardinals. Russell slaps that one in the right. See, it made a heck of a lot of sense. That's a base hit to leave Cott in the game to get racked around by the Dodgers. 10th hit for the Los Angeles. Fernando's 0 for 2. Here's the pitch. He drops one down. Tennis over to her covering. And there's the first out. So Kitty, pitching like my cat or Tabby, 4 outs, 3 hits, 2 homers, and a strikeout. Sachs is 1 for 4, by the way. Stole a base, struck out, and scored. Has a single. Pitch. Ground ball to her, makes a nice stop over to Hernandez for the out. So her goes deep into the hole to make the play. And he's hurt. So it's going to be Gonzalez, who's a set 2 at second, and would bat maybe, if the Cardinals put a runner on against Fernando. Landro was 1 for 3, 2 RBI. Runner on third is Russell, 6-0 Los Angeles, 2 out top the ninth. And Mike Marshall will pinch hit. So Marshall at 193, 3 homers and 6 RBI. Pitch from Cott, line drive to Ramsey, and that will retire the side. A run on 2 hits and no errors. 8.5 in the books. Los Angeles, Fernando looking for a shutout, 6-0. How you doing, Johnny? 2 infield injuries and George still hasn't moved a muscle. Todd, this is funny. I thought I held vendettas against older players. Obergefell, by the way, is 0 for 3. Ramsey and McGee to follow. Fernando deals right back to Russell from the dirt at second over to Garvey, 1 out. So Fernando, I mean, let's face it, he's about 3 pitches away from winning his 19th game of the year. Ramsey's 0 for 1, filling in for Ozzie Smith. He's also drawn a walk. Valenzuela deals, and Ramsey slaps that one into left center to at least try to give us some pretend suspense. And that brings up Willie McGee, who's 0 for 1. Fernando deals. McGee, base hit into right. Guerrero has it. And Ramsey will hold at second. And that brings up Julio Gonzalez, who will pinch hit. Dane Ord at 326. No homers and 34 RBI. Hit lefties at a 400 clip. So let's see if Fernando can tap dance around this situation. That's only the 5th hit for St. Louis. Pitch to Ord. Struck him out. A 2-2 fastball right down Broadway, and Ord just sat there and watched it. So here's Lonnie Smith. Lonnie 1 for 3 with a walk. Ramsey on second, McGee on first. 6-0 Dodgers. Fernando trying to get the shutout. Winds and deals. And Smith laces that one into left. Ramsey will try to score. Baker throws home to Yeager, and the run does score. And so it will not be a shutout. And we have a pitching change. Joe Beckwith will come in. The quick and dirty version. Beckwith, no record to save, and an ERA of 98. That's .98. 18 innings, 15 hits, a homer. He walked 6 and struck out 16. Hernandez is 0 for 4. So 6-1 Los Angeles. 2 out here in the ninth. Pitch to Keith. Chopper to Garvey. Takes it to the bag himself, and the Dodgers have their 85th win of the year. This was a laugher. 6-1 Los Angeles. So Fernando goes 8 2/3 innings. 6 hits, a run, it was earned. He walked 4 and struck out 6. And he goes to 19-8 on 1982. Muir takes the loss. 7 innings, 7 hits, 4 runs, 3 earned. The homer, he walked 2 and struck out 1, and Jim Cott just kind of spit the bit. Why are the Dodgers 85 and 43? Look at that team ERA. It's 2.90. So we're going to give the game MVP to Fernando. And before we go, we're going to play out the rest of the day. Oh, Stratomatic is going to do the 94 season on a computer, and the 6 and cards and dice not for 90. Cool. That's cool. All right, rest of the day. Cubs beat the Giants 4-3. Martz with a win. Not Mikey goes to 8-3. Jody Davis with his 15th of the year. Houston beat the Mets 4-3 in 10. Dave Smith gets his 5th of the year. Pittsburgh beat San Diego 4-2. Manny Sarmiento goes to 9-5. Bill Matlock with his 18th. Atlanta down Philadelphia 3-2. Bedrosian with his 9th of the year. Murphy 2 for 3, a double and a stolen base. Cincinnati beat Montreal 4-1. Shirley, you just know Shirley gets the win. He goes to 5-8. Rogers takes the loss. He goes to 18-6. Twins beat the Yankees. Ouch. 7-5. Marty Castillo goes to 5-11. Oscar Gamble with his 15th on the year in a losing effort. Cleveland down the White Sox 8-7. Barajas takes the loss. I'm still jinxed from last week. And Texas, downs Kansas City 5-4-11. Danny Darwin goes to 6-6. Tigers' lead of the East is a game over Baltimore and a game and a half over Milwaukee. California's lead over Kansas City is 3.5. No change in the National League either way. I think. Yes, no change either way. All right, so sometime between now and Sunday afternoon will be the Angels and the Red Sox from Fenway Park. Thanks for watching. Now go to your meeting. Sorry you're late. I'm Ron Juckett for Retro Sports Network. Hit that like and subscribe. We'll talk to you the next time.